There's so many barnyard sounds in my world that I bought a mic that's designed to only pick up sound from like 6 inches from my face. And you can probably still hear the freaking cricket chirping in the ground right there. If you haven't watched the Tennessee Total Archery Challenge video that I did, it's fine. I'm going to play some of the clips here. Some of the ones that I think are like the most interesting and the most pertinent to this conversation. And this conversation is about what went wrong for Travis, what went right for me, what he learned from it, and what I learned from it. Because the reality is TAC is just a training ground for hunting season. Travis is 100% a better shot than I am. And gear 100% matters.
One of the most experienced archers I know, and his bowstring looks like that. Looks ridiculous.
So,
what are you doing?
this is like year number 4 or something like that on this same string. And it works good, so I'm not going to mess with it. Wax is overrated.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wax makes dust and dirt. And the only thing that I'd be concerned about is when this was like up here, the cable was coming and hitting this.
Yeah, this is fine. You're right. This is
Making
totally okay.
contact.
Yeah.
You want to win trucks.
This has to be loose.
Was that the bow you won? The
Yeah.
wait, do
Yeah.
that again.
So
The string stop.
this keeps it to where you know if the string is.
So as funny as that was at the beginning of the day, I was positive that Travis was still going to kick my ass because that's how much better he is at archery than I am. Like his ability to just focus, his shot is hyper consistent. The dude has won 2 TAC trucks. Not one, not just landed arrows in the money zone on the actual caribou at 111 yards a couple of times and been entered to win. He has won 2 trucks. If you can hear that, that's the sound of my wife harassing chickens. Travis had at least 1 arrow that was bad. So what I think was ending up happening was the actual knock that was in it was a little bit bent. So as the arrow is flying out, it's taking the vanes a little bit longer to stabilize the arrow. When there's no wind, maybe that's okay. But because TAC has some longer distance shots, especially the prime, you can just see the chaos that ensues when you're taking a 110-yard shot on a red stag. When there's a 10 to 20 mile an hour wind and you're taking a 100-yard shot on a red stag, you can see the chaos that ensues with the arrow. Lucky for me, not only was Travis able to find the arrow, but he decided that somehow it was his fault, his lack of skill that made him airball on the actual stag. Not that there was something wrong with the actual arrow, so he finds the arrow and shoots it again, allowing me to just creep up with the points. I was shooting Victory Rip TKOs with 175 total grains out front and then a 3-fletch DCA Super Saber in the back. So there's a decent amount of control with those vanes. They're not smaller ones like what Travis was using. So Travis is using the Boning heat vanes, but not only is he using the heat vanes, he's using them and then he's cut them down. So you're getting even less surface area for the wind to catch, which means less twist, which means less control, which means as the arrow is in the air and there's a lateral force pushing against it, you get this crazy screwball effect going on with the actual arrow. Just total chaos. Can you imagine what would happen if you hit an animal with a broadhead on front and the arrow is doing this? Another thing that I thought was really interesting from my perspective was I'm getting some target panic that's presenting in different ways. And one of the ways for me that it typically will come out is I'll get these small shakes, especially on a day like when I'm shooting TAC where I really care and when I'm playing against somebody like Travis where I really want to win. for some reason, there's just this thing that takes over and I get these little small shakes. But today they were small enough that I was still able to make decent shots as far as the actual execution of the shot goes. My timing was really similar throughout all my, once I actually got to anchor and then once I actually went through the process. It's something that I need to work on, but what it shows me is that even with an imperfect shot, like even with me feeling that level of target panic, me getting the shakes, that I can still be hitting the kill zones of an animal, a foam animal in most of these cases, at a pretty decent distance away. Like there was some 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100-yard shots that I was starting to have the shakes on, that pin was starting to move a little bit more than normal. But for some reason, my brain is still able to take over and it's still able to execute where the actual outcome was acceptable. When Travis got home, he immediately ordered a bow titanium upgrade kit from the Fire Knock guy, which if you haven't seen this, it's crazy. So he basically replaces all the screws and the limb bolt and some of the other parts that come from a factory that are, either steel or aluminum parts. He replaces them all with titanium, and it's just a kit you can order. And then Travis also ordered some arrows from this guy. So I think that what Travis learned, you better bring your A game when you're facing Brandon McDonald. I'm just messing. I got stupid lucky. I'm never going to shoot against him again because I've won. The funny thing about the 2 days was Andrew, the other guy that we were with, he kicked both of our asses both days. He just quietly went along, just executing his shots, just 10 after 10 after 10 after 10 after 10, silently murdering us as me and Travis are talking crap back and forth. Travis is a very sweet guy. He's just trying to ignore me, knowing that he's way better than I am, but I got super lucky because his setup, his gear was just kind of crappy for that trip, but not when he goes hunting this fall. He'll be all set up to go. Go out and shoot some 3D. Go out and shoot some long distance 3D. Go bet your buddies $20 that you're going to actually kick their ass on the course, and maybe you'll take it a little bit more seriously and learn some stuff about your setup. Thanks for watching. I'm Brandon McDonald.